Some of the most tedious things that we do on a day-to-day basis happen after we finish video calls. In 2025, everybody is on Zoom calls, on Google Meet calls, on Teams calls all day nonstop. And after those calls, it's all about recording your notes, sending follow-up emails, updating CRMs, throwing things in Jira. It's a mess, it takes up a ton of time. But the reality is that with an AI agent that has the full context of every meeting that you're in and truly understands your business, a lot of this work can be automated. In this video, I'm gonna break down some of the ways that we use meeting AI agents in our company to basically automate the tedious processes that we do on a day-to-day basis. All of these workflows are built directly in Cassidy. I'm gonna break down how it all works and how you could build very custom workflows and AI agents specific to the processes that you run after your meetings. Let's jump in. So the first thing about Cassidy meetings is it's a meeting bot that actually goes and joins all of your meetings. So you can see here, I basically had it join all my Zoom, my Google Meet, my Teams, it doesn't matter. It joins all of these meetings. And you can see inside Cassidy, what it's able to do is basically record the whole transcript, give me a summary. I'm able to chat with it and ask questions. So if I open this in chat and I say, what was the pricing that we talked about on this call? And that's all super helpful. I'm using a marketing assistant here, so it specifically can look for the marketing things to pull from this call. You can see it actually answers the question. It cites all of its sources, so I can see exactly where this information is being pulled from directly in the conversation. So what I really want to focus on in this video is how you go from meeting to action. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to come up to the workflows section of the knowledge base, and inside the meetings tab, I basically built out a bunch of the workflows that we use on a day-to-day basis that happen directly after our meeting. So one of the most basic workflows that I think every company should set up for their sales team is a competitor's mention on sales call workflow. Every time we have a meeting, I want to know what were the competitors that were mentioned on that sales call. So basically I have this workflow set up. So every time we have a new sales meeting directly in Cassidy, it goes through that transcript and extracts all the competitors mentioned. So we're using an extract block here where we specify that I wanted to review the call transcript and identify any of the competitors that were mentioned on that call. Now, if there's no competitors mentioned, it should just stop the workflow, but assuming it's a regular sales call, some competitors will be brought up. From that, it's going to go ahead and loop through every competitor and research them. So this is where we actually not only just know who are the competitors mentioned, but who are they? What should we know about them? So if there's any new competitor mentioned, this research agent is going to go off online, find all the information relevant to that specific competitor that was brought up. And then finally, it sends that full list of all the competitors directly into a Slack channel. So just to show you what that looks like, if I go into this view previous run, we actually had it. So we had a meeting go through. It came out, it found two different competitors, Legal Tech Innovations and Evidence Pro, did that research on both of them, and then it sent me that message in our Slack. So you can see like directly in my Slack channel, I'm basically getting the mention of like, what are the competitors that were brought on every sales call. The next workflow I'm going to show is what is run after we actually have any sales call. So basically after we have a sales call, we want to automate the process of having to think about drafting up a response to the person that we just spoke with. Our sales team and me in particular spend so much time trying to perfect the perfect email after all the sales calls were on. So this workflow basically automates the whole process. So after a meeting, it actually categorizes the type of sales meeting we have. A discovery call where we're just meeting a prospect, a demo call where we're actually giving an in-depth demo, a proposal call where we're sharing our pricing, or just others, a random call. And so what it does is it actually uses a path block, and based on that, it takes different actions. So for instance here, we just had a discovery call. And so what it's actually gonna do is use one of our AI assistants that's trained on how we communicate as a sales team and actually draft up that personalized sales email specifically to a prospect. The cool thing here is that it's actually connected to our knowledge base. So it's pulling things like previous case studies that might be relevant to that particular prospect and including that in the post-call email. And then finally, it actually uses a human in the loop block. So it has me approve the email before it's automatically sent. The next workflow is a sales coaching workflow. So this is actually relevant to anything you do. If you do a bunch of job interviews, if you do a lot of sales calls, if you do a lot of support calls, basically what it's having you do is having ChatGPT review the call and giving you tips on how to do a better job at the call that you're doing. So in this case, we're talking about sales coaching. How do we actually sell more deals and look at all my calls, give me feedback, give me tips, score my call, and you can use ChatGPT to actually critique and give you tips on how to do it better. So after every meeting, the first thing it does is actually generate a coaching report for a sales manager. Look at a call that a sales rep had and give feedback, summarize the call for the sales leader. So I'm giving it this prompt in the standard prompt format where I'm saying you're a sales coaching assistant. Your goal is to review the sales call transcript, generate a actionable coaching report based on this. So I basically gave it all this rich context about what we're looking for, what's a good call, what's a bad call, and actually give it a score that we could send directly to our VP of sales or head of sales, whatever it is. The next step in the process is to actually generate feedback specifically for the sales rep. So what did the sales rep do well? What did the sales rep do bad? And you can add as many blocks inside the workflow that you want. So all the different steps that you want it to do after a meeting, it could all be done directly in here. You customize it to exactly what you want. For the final workflow, let's take it up a notch. I'm gonna show you a very complex workflow that's taking a bunch of action post meetings, just to show you the potential of what you're able to build with a meeting workflow in Cassidy. So you can see this workflow, it's lengthy, it's longer, there's a lot more to it. So let's just walk through what's actually happening here. What it's actually doing is going into our HubSpot. After every sales conversation, it's filling out with our sales methodology. We use a MEDDIC sales methodology, but whatever information you need to extract, things like who's the champion, who's the decision maker, what are the next steps in the process, all that information is automatically being filled out directly by an AI assistant, updating that directly in our HubSpot CRM. It's going through all the participants of that conversation, basically researching every single participant who was on that call. So going online, finding all the information about them, looking through their LinkedIns, and then sending a message in a Slack channel called Sales Conversations with the updates of what's the decision process, what's the identified pain, who's the champion, who's the competitors. Basically, our entire sales methodology is automatically extracted and pulled from a meeting, added directly to our HubSpot, and all the prospects that we're talking to are enriched directly in our CRM. So you can see it is doing a lot here. All the tedious work and research that needs to take place in order to effectively update your CRM after a sales call is just completely automated here end to end. So those were just some of the meeting workflows that we have set up. Some other examples or ideas that I've seen of people building is after a product meeting, automatically extracting all the mentions of bugs or feature requests, taking that information and automatically uploading it to your Jira or product board. Things like having this AI meeting agent living in all your support conversations, coming up with key trends that people are mentioning. You can have a meeting agent on all your interviews, listening in on all the people that your company is interviewing, giving a qualification. Should you hire this person? Do they fit our culture values? Searching the knowledge base to see if they would be a potential fit or not. There is no limit to what you could theoretically build with meeting automations. Let me know what you'd like to see me automate next. I'm making videos every week. I'm automating everything in our business. If you want to do the same, follow along. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.